For decades, pilots have vanished without distress calls. Ships have disappeared without debris. Compasses have spun wildly, and experienced crews have reported instruments failing for no clear reason. Somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean lies a region so mysterious that it earned a nickname whispered with equal parts fear and fascination: the Bermuda Triangle. But here's the real question. What if the mystery was never supernatural at all? What if science has slowly been uncovering answers that are far stranger and far more fascinating than myths about aliens, time portals, or sea monsters? Today, we're diving deep into what science is finally revealing about the Bermuda Triangle, separating legend from evidence and discovering why this infamous region might not be what we thought it was. The Bermuda Triangle is not officially recognized on any world map. There are no warning signs floating in the ocean, and no international boundary lines marking danger. Yet its reputation spans generations. The area generally forms a triangle between Miami in Florida, Bermuda in the North Atlantic, and San Juan in Puerto Rico. Within this region, stories of unexplained disappearances began gaining attention in the mid-20th century, especially after several high-profile incidents captured public imagination. Newspapers described aircraft vanishing into clear skies, while ships were reportedly found abandoned, perfectly intact, but eerily empty. Over time, speculation exploded. Some believed extraterrestrials were responsible, while others claimed the lost city of Atlantis lay beneath the waves, emitting mysterious energy. However, science approaches mysteries differently. Instead of asking what feels mysterious, scientists ask what measurable forces are actually at work, and that shift in perspective changes everything. One of the most famous events connected to the Bermuda Triangle occurred in 1945, when 5 U.S. Navy training planes, known collectively as Flight 19, took off from Florida on a routine exercise. The weather was fair, and the pilots were experienced, so nothing initially seemed unusual. During the mission, however, radio communications revealed growing confusion. The flight leader reported that compasses were malfunctioning, and the pilots began to believe they were lost over unfamiliar waters. Soon afterward, contact was lost entirely. Even more mysteriously, a rescue aircraft sent to search for them also disappeared. To the public, this seemed like undeniable proof that something supernatural lurked within the triangle. Decades later, investigators revisited weather reports, navigation records, and pilot experience levels, eventually concluding that a combination of navigational error, worsening weather conditions, and fuel exhaustion most likely caused the tragedy. The mystery began to look less like paranormal activity and more like a tragic example of human vulnerability in a challenging environment. Understanding why incidents happened so frequently requires looking closely at the region itself. One overlooked fact is that the Bermuda Triangle lies along some of the busiest shipping and aviation routes in the world. Thousands of ships and aircraft pass through the area every year. Statistically, more traffic naturally results in more accidents. When incidents occur in a place already associated with mystery, people begin connecting unrelated events into a single narrative. Scientists also identified several environmental factors that genuinely make this region hazardous. The triangle sits near zones where tropical storms and hurricanes frequently form, fueled by warm ocean water that allows weather systems to intensify rapidly. Before modern forecasting technology, storms could develop faster than crews were able to predict, meaning a ship might sail under calm skies only to encounter violent conditions hours later with little warning. Adding to this danger is the powerful Gulf Stream, a fast-moving ocean current capable of scattering wreckage across vast distances. When accidents happen, debris may disappear before rescue teams arrive, creating the illusion that vessels vanished completely, when in reality, the ocean simply erased evidence faster than expected. Among the most persistent legends surrounding the Bermuda Triangle are stories of compasses spinning wildly or pointing in the wrong direction. Interestingly, This mystery contains a small piece of truth rooted in Earth's magnetic behavior. The planet's magnetic field is not perfectly uniform, and most locations experience a difference between true north and magnetic north, known as magnetic declination. Navigators must adjust for this difference to maintain accurate headings. Historically, parts of the Atlantic formed what is called an agonic line, where magnetic north and true north align perfectly. Early navigators unfamiliar with this phenomenon could easily miscalculate their course because their instruments behaved differently than expected. Imagine relying entirely on a compass that suddenly seems inconsistent, especially in an era before GPS navigation existed. Even a small directional error over open ocean can grow into a life-threatening situation. What once appeared mysterious was actually a natural interaction between Earth's magnetic field and human assumptions. Equally fascinating is the long-dismissed sailor folklore about enormous waves appearing without warning. For years, scientists believed these stories were exaggerations, yet satellite observations eventually confirmed the existence of rogue waves, massive walls of water, sometimes exceeding 30 meters in height. The Bermuda Triangle sits in a region where such waves can form due to the interaction between storms, wind patterns, and the Gulf Stream. When opposing forces combine, wave energy can concentrate into a single towering surge, capable of striking a ship suddenly and with overwhelming force. Modern simulations show that vessels encountering rogue waves could capsize within seconds, often without time to send distress signals. What once sounded like superstition turned out to be a genuine oceanographic phenomenon discovered only through advanced technology. Another scientific explanation explores processes occurring far beneath the ocean surface. Certain areas of the seafloor contain methane hydrates, ice-like structures that trap gas under high pressure. If disturbed, these formations can release massive bubbles of methane, rising rapidly toward the surface. Water filled with gas becomes less dense, meaning a ship floating above a large release could suddenly lose buoyancy and sink quickly, sometimes leaving minimal wreckage behind. Laboratory experiments confirm that significant gas releases can drastically reduce water density. Some researchers have also suggested that methane entering the atmosphere could potentially disrupt aircraft engines if encountered in sufficient concentration, although direct evidence connecting this mechanism to specific incidents remains limited. Still, the theory demonstrates how geological activity, rather than supernatural forces, could explain certain unusual reports. Perhaps the most surprising discovery about the Bermuda Triangle comes not from the ocean or atmosphere, but from human psychology. Researchers analyzing historical records found that many reported mysteries were exaggerated, misinterpreted, or even entirely fabricated over time. Some ships listed as missing were later located, while others never disappeared within the triangle at all. In several cases, storms or mechanical failures had already explained accidents before mystery narratives captured public attention. Once the idea of a cursed region became popular, confirmation bias encouraged people to interpret every unexplained event as evidence supporting the legend. Human brains are naturally wired to seek patterns and meaning, even when events are unrelated. In this sense, part of the Bermuda Triangle's mystery may have been created collectively through storytelling rather than through unexplained forces. As technology advanced, the narrative began to change. The introduction of GPS navigation, satellite monitoring, advanced radar systems, and improved weather forecasting dramatically reduced unexplained disappearances. Aircraft now track their locations continuously. Ships communicate through global positioning systems, and meteorologists can predict storms days in advance. If a supernatural phenomenon truly existed within the triangle, modern monitoring systems would still detect unusual losses. Instead, statistics show that the region today is no more dangerous than other heavily traveled areas of ocean. Science did not merely offer theories. It produced measurable improvements in safety and understanding. Despite these explanations, the Bermuda Triangle continues to capture public imagination. The reason may lie in humanity's relationship with mystery itself. The open ocean represents one of Earth's last vast unknown environments, a place that feels both familiar and impossibly deep. Stories of vanished ships and lost aircraft tap into universal fears of isolation, uncertainty, and nature's overwhelming power. Ironically, the real explanation may be more humbling than supernatural ones, because it reminds us that natural forces alone are powerful enough to appear mysterious without any paranormal influence. What science has ultimately revealed about the Bermuda Triangle is not a portal, alien intervention, or remnants of Atlantis, but a convergence of real-world factors: unpredictable weather systems, powerful ocean currents, magnetic navigation challenges, rogue waves, possible methane releases, and human error amplified through storytelling. Each element on its own is understandable, yet together, they create conditions where accidents can occur and where explanations once struggled to keep pace with imagination. Science did not eliminate the mystery. It transformed it into a deeper appreciation of how competent our planet truly is. In the end, the Bermuda Triangle teaches us something profound about how humans confront the unknown. When knowledge is limited, mystery fills the gaps. As evidence grows, wonder does not disappear. It evolves. Scientists continue studying oceans, the atmosphere, and Earth's magnetic systems, revealing layers of complexity far beyond early myths. The truth is that the Bermuda Triangle was never empty of answers. Humanity simply lacked the tools to recognize them. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of all. The world still holds mysteries, not because they are supernatural, but because science itself is an ongoing journey. Every discovery replaces one question with another, guiding us toward deeper understanding of a planet we are still learning to know. So the next time you hear about the Bermuda Triangle, remember that the greatest mystery may not be what disappeared there, but how long it took us to understand what was happening all along. If you enjoyed uncovering the science behind one of history's most famous mysteries, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more deep dive explorations, and share in the comments which mystery we should investigate next. Because sometimes the truth turns out to be even more fascinating than the legend.